Weekend we have UFC 302 taking place in Newark, New Jersey, and I'm going to be breaking down the co-main and main event of this fight because outside of that, there's not really many interesting matchups, in my opinion. So, starting with the co-main event, we have Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa, and I'm just I'm just gonna say I'm picking Sean Strickland to win this fight, and I think it's going to be a pretty dominant win, but some arguments against why Sean Strickland might not win the fight is they say Paulo Costa has too much power and he puts too much pressure on. But something in Sean Strickland's favor is he has fantastic defense and he has a great chin. We've only seen him get knocked out 2 times in his UFC career, and that one was first one was a head kick, and the second one was Alex Pereira, who's the most powerful hitter in the entire UFC and the second hardest hitter in the world behind Eddie Hall. So anybody else would have gotten knocked out by those shots. So he has a good chin, so I don't think that power is going to be much of a problem for Sean Strickland. And the pressure, people say, look at the Dracus du Plessis fight and the Jared Cannonier fight. When people put pressure on Sean Strickland, he doesn't do as well. But if you go back and watch those fights, they're very close, and I scored both of those fights in favor of Sean Strickland. Looking at the Dracus du Plessis fight, I scored the fight rounds 1, 2, and 5 like many other people did. But Paulo Costa is no Dracus du Plessis, and if you're going to talk about the pressure, his pressure is not going to be as much as Dracus du Plessis. His power is probably not going to be as much as Dracus du Plessis' power. So I don't think those are going to be big factors. And as far as how this fight will look, probably be a stand-up fight. Paulo Costa is probably going to shoot a couple takedowns. And we've seen Sean Strickland be able to get up or defend takedowns. So even if he does get taken down, he will just stand right up and continue boxing with him. And I think that front kick will be a problem. And I think the biggest problem in this fight for for Paulo Costa is the cardio factor. I think Sean Strickland is just going to tire him out, and I could honestly either this fight will be a unanimous decision or you could see a TKO in the championship rounds because this is a 5-round fight. And that's a big factor for Sean Strickland to win, is it's a 5-round fight. So that's why I'm picking Sean Strickland. And also, we've seen some, talking about the cardio, we've seen some signs that Paulo Costa might have a little bit of staph infection on his foot. So if he has staph infection, he's taken antibiotics, that even lessens his cardio, which is already inferior. So that's another big factor. And speaking of staph infection, the main event, we've all seen the photo of Islam Makhachev having a bit of staph infection, but I still think that Dustin Poirier is going to lose, even if he is taking antibiotics for staph infection. So I don't think that's going to be a big factor. As far as the fight's going to go, I think Islam Makhachev's defense is really good, and I don't think that Dustin Poirier is going to get past it unless Islam Makhachev goes out there like an idiot trying to box with him, which I don't think he is. And I think he's going to go out there, shoot some takedowns, and eventually get them. And or Dustin Poirier is going to take himself down by jumping the guillotine, which guillotines don't work. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was 11, and I haven't tapped to a guillotine in like a year. And that's in jiu-jitsu. Now you take everybody has their shirts off and they're sweating, and you have the UFC gloves, which makes guillotines even harder, especially if it's the arm and guillotine like Dustin Poirier pulls. I don't think he'll guillotine him. And if someone pulls guillotines and they don't let go after you pass the guard, you can Von Flue choke them or set up an arm triangle. So I think that could happen too. Or you see another scenario where DP goes to stand up and gets his back taken and rear naked choked like we saw with Oliveira and we saw with Khabib. So I think that's likely to happen. And anytime we've seen Dustin Poirier face a high-level grappler. He's always struggled. Even though he is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, he's nowhere near the level of grappling and wrestling and jiu-jitsu as Islam Makhachev, who also has fantastic judo. So I think that this fight is going to end on the ground, and I don't think it's going to go to a decision. It's either going to be a fluke knockout by Dustin Poirier, which is I don't think is going to happen, or it's going to be a submission from Islam. So I'm going to say, I don't know which round. It's going to be in probably one of the earlier rounds, first 3 rounds. So I'm going to pick Islam Makhachev by... I'm going to pick him by submission, but either rear naked choke or Von Flue choke. So, yeah, this is what most people are saying, so I don't think that this is much of a shock, but just had to put a little breakdown out before this fight. I just watched the press conference, and Islam is looking very confident, and Sean Strickland was looking very confident. So, even if Islam does have staph infection, which he probably does, I still think that he's going to finish this fight fast, and he's not going to have to rely on high cardio. He's just going to go out there and submit him in the early rounds. So, that's my breakdown of the fight, of the fights, co-main and main event, and I'll put out a fight breakdown and card breakdown after this card happens this weekend, and like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you later.